Well, welcome to 700 Club Interactive. Victoria McAllister was trapped in a lifestyle of drug addiction, prostitution. She was broken, pregnant, and alone. And while most people would walk by Victoria, one woman took a chance on her and opened her heart and her home.
And sometimes it's dirty and messy. And for so many, they just need somebody to walk with them. You know, not just hand them a meal, but to walk with them. I met Victoria at Crown Lodge when we were doing a little barbecue for the kids and the families that live there. She had just miscarried, had a stillborn baby, and was pretty broken. And tried to build some relationship there, but she disappeared.
I was addicted to crack cocaine. I was highly addicted to crack cocaine. I would use $300 to $400 a day. I was in prostitution to pay for hotels and to pay for my habit. There was times that I tried to get out of it and I just couldn't because that's all I knew.
It wasn't until 2 years later that she showed back up on a winter night.
I was standing up at the front desk. Then Dinette came to the desk and looked at me, and she kind of looked at me and she was like, "Do you remember me from the barbecues?" And I was like, "You look familiar, but I don't know who you are." And then she looked at my stomach and she's like, "You're pregnant.
How are you going to provide for you and this baby?" And she didn't know. She didn't have a clue. And that was when I just knew that I needed to adopt Victoria. So started again to build some relationship with her. Just started visiting with her in her room, bringing her food, trying to give her a better diet for the baby that she was carrying and herself.
She called me and she asked me, did I want to go to church on Sunday? And I had the choice. She wasn't going to judge me. I had the choice to say yes or no. And I said yes. I was cautious when I first went in there, but I felt welcome and I wouldn't say loved because I didn't really know what loved was at the time. I had seen it in so many different ways.
As she got closer to her due date, I think it was seeing how alone she was, that she really didn't have anyone. And I felt like that's when God connected my heart with her.
And she became somebody who I could talk to and who understood me and who didn't judge me.
I have to say that I really pushed a little bit for Victoria to maybe go the route of adoption with her baby. And so as I talked to her about this, Victoria, would you consider this? And she said, I just want to be a mom so bad. And I said, Victoria, being a mom is more than being able to change a diaper and give a baby a bottle. There's so much more involved in raising a child. And she said, could you teach me? So I said, yes. And so we started. I brought her to live in my home.
I was kind of scared at first. And I knew if I got out of the hotel that I would be able to get off the drugs and that I would be able to change my life. So March 3rd of 2009, I moved in with Dinette.
6 days later, she delivered Madison, and because she was drug positive, she was not allowed to take the baby home with her. But they told me that I could. So we brought Madison and Victoria back home with us from the hospital. Victoria had 2 more incidents where she relapsed, into her cocaine habit. When it happened a second time, the courts removed her from our home. They said, you cannot be in residence with your baby until you complete a drug program and go through family court.
They basically told me that they were going to take my visits and they basically take my daughter from me. And that's when I said, no, I have to change. It was basically rock bottom. I had to do it for Madison, but I also had to do it for myself because if I was to go back out there, it could kill me. And then I wouldn't be here for Madison. I wouldn't be here.
Victoria did successfully complete a drug treatment program. She was able to get an apartment close to where we live. I just saw the favor of God on her as she gave her heart to the Lord, and I was able to lead Victoria to the Lord. And then a few months later, she was baptized. And just as I've seen her commitment as she's growing in the Lord to want to give back, she became a very important part of our church, and people just embraced her and loved her, and she found a home.